Hello friends, I am Anjali Pandey. I am assistant professor currently working in Shankara Usal College of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research Center Kharadi Pune, and today we will discuss about protein and peptide drug delivery system. So we are going to discuss about various learning outcomes. Learning outcomes means after completion of our PPT we can understand easily that what are the protein and peptide drug delivery system. Then second one is to understand the necessity of protein and peptide drug delivery system, and third one is to explain the different routes as well as the barriers of drug delivery system. Okay, routes means how can we administer the drug, like orally, intravenous, and so many other routes. And barriers which are going to inhibit, or we can say interrupt, our drugs to into our body. Okay, so these are the contents. Introduction, protein and peptide, need of protein and peptide drug delivery system, then techniques of stabilization, then for different routes of delivery, different routes of administration, barrier to protein and peptide drug delivery system. Okay, so we will discuss about introduction. Okay, so what is protein and what is peptide? Okay, so both protein and peptide both are made up of amino acids. These are the amino acid chain which is joined together by polypeptide, or we can say peptide bond. And protein is amino acid chain, but more than 50 amino acid chain is called as protein. And if the amino acid chain is small, less than 50 amino acid, it is called as peptide. So this is the basic difference between them. So further we will discuss about the structure of protein. Okay, so according to the structure of protein, it is classified into four categories. First of all, primary protein structure, then secondary protein structure, then tertiary protein, then fourth one is quaternary protein structure. Okay, so in primary protein structure, it is a amino acid chain, but is a single chain. Then secondary protein structure, it is a amino acid chain, but the peptide backbone causes the amino acid in fold into repeating pattern. But this is amino acid chain, but amino acid are repeating. Then in tertiary protein structure, this is a 3D structure, three-dimensional structure. And in last one, that is quaternary protein structure, in this the amino acid chains are more than two chains, not only one type of amino acids. Okay, so why protein and peptide are used? So we are discussing about that protein and peptide are major class of therapeutic agent, and it is mostly used. So here we discuss why it is essential. Okay, yeah, why it is used. First of all, the protein and peptide are very important in biological sense. Then the lack of protein and peptide causes disease like diabetes mellitus. Okay, so we all know this is a very common type of disease like diabetes mellitus, and it is caused by the lack of protein that is called insulin. Okay, so the lack of insulin causes diabetes mellitus, and insulin is a type of protein. Okay, okay, and next, nowadays rDNA technology, rDNA means recombinant DNA technology, and hybridoma techniques also used in protein and peptide based pharmaceuticals. Okay, so this is we discussed earlier that need of protein. So first of all, hybridoma technology, then recombinant DNA technology, then biological cells, then diabetes mellitus. Okay, so this is the reflection spot. Okay, so reflection spot means what we studied earlier or what we discussed earlier. So take a pen and paper and think about it. Okay, what is the difference between protein and peptide and why it is used as drug delivery system? Okay, so this is discussed earlier. that what are the basic difference protein and peptide. So think about it. Okay, I will wait for few seconds. Yeah, so protein and peptide, what we discussed, that both are made up of amino acid chain, but protein and in protein the long chain of amino acid more than 50, and in peptide 50, less than 50 amino acid, right? And why it is used? Because it is necessary for our cells, and lack of protein causes different type of diseases. Okay, yeah. So next, penetration enhancer and protease inhibitors. Okay, yeah. So this is the technique of stabilization. Okay, what do you understand by stabilization? So stabilization is a process of making something physically or more secure or more stable. Okay, so we all know that if we take a drug orally, then most of drug degrade on our stomach pH, or we can say due to presence of HCl. Okay, so if we will want our action on intestine, so we have to make anticotic tablet. Yeah, likewise, so we want to any tablet, or we can say any other drug, to be stable. Okay, so these are the various technique of stabilization. First one is penetration enhancer and protease inhibitors. Second one is encapsulation. Then third one is macromolecule conjugation. Then fourth one is chemical modification. These are the four techniques by which we can increase stability of our drug delivery system. Okay, so in this encapsulation, we can see our our main drug is encapsulated into different types of layers, which can be a polymer or many other material. Okay, so this is the different routes of delivery. Okay, so first one is target specific tissue or organ, then second one is cell targeting drug delivery system, then third one is molecule. In first one, we can target a specific tissue or organ, that can be a tumor, lungs, brain, intestine, eyes, uterine horn. Okay, in second one is we targeting a specific cell, and in third one we are targeting a specific molecules. Okay, yeah. So now different routes of administration. There we can see two types of routes are there. First one is parental and second one is non-parental. So parental means para plus intral, that other than alimentary canal. Okay, so these are or we can take like injectable in parentals, and second one is non-parental. So in non-parental systemic delivery, different types of routes are there. We all know oral, nasal, buccal, auricular, rectal, transdermal, pulmonary. Yeah, so these are the barriers which inhibit our drug into the body. This first one is enzymatic barrier, second one is intestinal epithelial barrier, third one is capillary endothelial barrier, and fourth one is blood brain barrier. Okay, so this is the intestinal barrier. We can say paracellular transport, transcellular transport, carrier mediated transport. This is the tight junction between the intestinal layer, mucus layer, enterocytes. This is the basolateral side, and last one is the systemic circulation, and these are the transport type. Okay, yeah. Then we will see the pharmaceutical approaches. First one is chemical modification, then second one is enzyme inhibitors, third one is penetration enhancers, fourth one is formulation vehicle, and fifth one is mucoadhesive polymeric system. That means how we can overcome this barrier. Okay, pharmaceutical approaches mean how we can overcome this barrier, and how we can achieve the desired therapeutic we can say therapeutic effect on our body. Okay, first chemical modification, prodrug. Prodrug, what is prodrug? Prodrug means a drug is in present in inactive form, and when it comes in react, or I can say when it goes into systemic circulation, it will become inactive form. Okay, so by the chemical modification we can increase our drug therapeutic effect, and in enzyme protease inhibitors, then penetration enhancer, then formulation vehicle, different type of approaches are there. This is the capillary endothelial barrier, this is the blood brain barrier. Yeah, so this is the, sorry, so yeah, yeah, so what are the reflection technique of stabilization? What are the different technique of stabilization? What we studied earlier, how will you stable our formulation? So we can say by penetration enhancer and by encapsulation. Okay, so in reflection spot we can think what we studied earlier. Okay, so so next is conclusion. Protein and peptide based pharmaceutical are rapidly becoming a very important class of therapeutic agents and are likely to replace many existing organic based pharmaceuticals in the very near future. Protein and peptide drug will be produced on a large scale by biotechnology process and will become commercially available for therapeutic use. These are the references. At last, I can say thank you very much for your listening, and if you have any query regarding this topic, you can contact me on my mail ID which I given here.